Now, sometimes instead of finding the value of the function at a given x value, which means we are given a rule and we are told an x value, and then we have to evaluate to figure out what our output is, what our y value is, sometimes we're going to be asked to work backwards. We're going to be given the value of the function, meaning our output, our y value, and we're going to be asked to find the value of x. So we're given our output. We have to unravel our equation to find what the input was. In these cases, we're going to replace the function notation, and all we're going to do is solve for x. So in our first example, I know that f of x is just another way of saying y. The y and f of x are just two different names for an output. So I know my output is 14. I have to work backwards using my equation to find x. So I'm going to replace f of x with y. You don't have to do this step, but sometimes some students like to because this looks a little more familiar. So I could rewrite f of x equals 4x minus 6 as y equals 4x minus 6. This is just slope-intercept form. I know that my output, my y, is 14. So I'm going to replace y, my output, with 14. 14 equals 4x minus 6. Now I'm just going to solve for x. I'm going to unravel this equation using my order of operations. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. To get 20 equals 4x, I'm going to divide by 4, and I get x equals 5. Awesome. Well, that means f of 5 equals 14. When my input is 5, my output is 14 for this function, for this equation. Another way of thinking of it is when my x and my y value is 5, 14. This coordinate point solves this equation, or it satisfies this rule. Let's go ahead and do a couple of other examples. G of x equals negative 3/2 x plus 4. If g of x equals 13, what does x equal? Well, this is telling me that my output is 13. What is my input? I'm going to replace this with 13, so I get 13 equals negative 3/2 x plus 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 4. I get 9 equals negative 3/2 x. I want to divide by a negative 3/2, so I have x by itself. And dividing by a negative 3/2 is the same thing as multiplying by a negative 2/3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 2/3. Now I get x equals negative 6. So g of negative 6 is going to be 13. When my input is negative 6, my output is 13. I could also write it in coordinate as a coordinate point. When my input is 6, my output is 13. You go ahead and try the next two examples.